All right, before I play this, or before I let this video run, I just want to say that I said in the video that I didn't find a photo of a similar representation of the Feast of the Gods as it was to the Last Supper. I actually did. I forgot that I found that. Like there's been some time between this when I decided to make this video and some other conversations that I've had, but I actually did find it. So I am going to put that in here as I'm speaking. Um, so if you can like you'll see it because I'm going to go back and forth between the Last Supper representation and then the Feast of the Gods representation of the video or the painting that looks like Da Vinci's painting, or the one that closest represents, because someone actually did find it and then put it up on the internet. So I screenshot it and put it in. I want to put it in this video. So I actually did find the picture. So just know that when I say that I couldn't find it, I actually did, and I'm going to use it as one of the photos in me talking. I'm going to switch back and forth. So yeah, I just wanted to say that before. So here we go. All right, I've already done this video for Rumble, so I'm going to do it for YouTube now, since I used a lot of trigger words that I know will get it shadow banned on YouTube. But I want to talk about this Olympics, and I've had this conversation a few times before I posted, or before I decided to do a video on it here. Well, obviously, the whole Last Supper tribute garnered a lot of controversy, and I don't understand certain things, like how stupid people are, right? Like there's a lot of people who are trying to like run cover for this and say that it's the Feast of the Gods by Giovanni, whoever, the guy who painted that photo. But someone else said that another guy posted it, or another guy is the actually originator of the video of the painting. I'm not gonna look it up. I don't really care. Fact of the matter is that the opening ceremonies were specifically attacking Christianity. Right? Now, I'm not getting that bent out of shape about it, because like the Last Supper painting was by Leonardo da Vinci, right? World famous, generationally famous painting. But that painting isn't scripture. It's not holy. It's not sanctified. It's not anything significant. Now I get it represents Christianity, because some people still are like, well, it's not about that. It's about what it stands for. Okay, yeah, whatever. But I don't get too focused in on that, because as the Bible says, it's like don't make any graven image of heaven. And I've always wondered like why that was, and it's because we humans have this tendency to worship the thing and not God. Right? I mean, Jesus even said that in I forgot what passage it was. It's in the four Gospels, obviously, but where he's talking to the Sadducees and the Pharisees, and he's like, you read the scriptures because you think in them is some sort of sanctification, when these point to me. And what Jesus is telling them is like, you think that reading the scripture is the part that is holy, when me, Jesus, is holy, and that's what you need to be focused on. And that's when it hit me. It's like, oh, that's why God says don't make graven images of heaven. One, because there's certain things you just can't replicate via materials on earth that are in heaven. And then secondly, it's just like, no, because we end up worshiping the thing that we made versus the entity that made it, which is God. So there's that. But anyway, that's why I'm not really too bent out of shape about it. And there's other things that need to be addressed about the attacks on Christianity. And really, for me personally, I think that Christians need to have discussions amongst themselves on a number of different topics before we start going around the world telling people what they can and can't do as it pertains to our religion. But here nor there, I just want to talk for a second about the blatant attack and disregard for Christianity and Christians by doing this ceremony and then turning around and acting like that they weren't doing it, right? Come on. Like, you can tell, like, look at this picture. Look at the thumbnail. Like, you're going to sit there and tell me that that was about the Feast of the Gods. And for those of you who don't know what the Feast of the Gods is, Google the picture and you tell me what photo looks like Feast of the Gods versus the picture here, which is the Last Supper versus what the Olympic opening ceremonies contained. Like, come on, you're not going to sit here and tell me that, oh, this is in tribute to, like, no, it's not. No, it is not. Right? And that's why people running around the internet talking about it doesn't mean that, and Christians are making this about them and things. It's just like, that's so, like, that's disingenuous. Don't even play. You know that this is about Christianity. You know they're attacking they are using the, Christian icon, I'm not sure if it's really iconography, but the Christian imagery, I'll say that, to get this point across, and knowing that Christians, 1,000%, if you're going to stick to what your religion says, let me say that 1,000% doesn't go along with, that frame of thinking or ideology, right? Like, come on, like let's not even play around with it. Yeah. So anyway, I just the fact that people are over here making excuses for it, like, oh, Christians are making it about them. It's just like, how stupid are you? Like, everyone sees what this is. Everyone knows that they're making fun of Christianity, or they're making fun. I don't know. We can probably debate what that really looks like and entails, but they were definitely referencing a Christian-based image, right? No question about it. Like, I don't care what they say. They are talking about Christianity, right? But that being the case, again, like, Da Vinci's not holy. Da Vinci's not blessed. He's not. I mean, even if he was sanctified in the Catholic Church, that still doesn't carry any weight with me. But yeah, regardless, it is what it is. Now, anyway, moving on from that, I want to talk for a second about Western ideology, and I will talk more about this on the YouTube channel than I did on Rumble. I find it funny because I saw someone on a post say that. Well, I would say I saw someone on my post said it, and this is a talking point that's going around, is the whole, Christians are making this whole situation about them when this is supposed to be about a celebration of the Olympic Games. It's like, okay, stop, full stop right there. Don't even sit here and go with that. All right. Now, before I go into what I want to say, I'm gonna say this. I had aspirations to go to the Olympics, right? And I actually met some people who've been to the Olympics. They've talked to members of the IOC. Well, I can't go that far. I think that he talked to members of the IOC. But anyway, it was a coach who had taken somebody to the Olympics. Well, actually, multiple Olympics. He's been to multiple Olympics with athletes, but there was one in particular that I knew him from. And he talked about how, even though the Olympics is supposed to be this, coming together of the world and all these nations gathering together in, sport at the Olympics is really ran by Western powers, right? Like United States, European countries. That's basically it. But even in the IOC conversations and stuff, they try to make it look like, oh, everyone has a seat at the table. Like, the United States and, the Ivory Coast have the same voting power when it comes to decision making. He's like, that's absolutely not true at all. Like, it's, the United States, a couple of other countries, Great Britain, probably France, obviously now, Russia, like it's the European powers as usual, AKA Western nations. And I think there's a couple of other nations who have a little bit of power, but again, they're not the dominant market share, for lack of better terminology. Right. So that being said, I find it really, really funny, if not just outright ironic, that people are telling Christians to not make this about them, when this whole thing was pretty much Western ideology, right? Like, other countries don't follow LGBT issues, nor do they care, nor do they want to care. And yet Paris did that, right? France did that. I don't want to say Paris because it's just a city, but France did that. And it's like, how are we going to sit here and tell Christians that, or tell Christians that, oh, they're making this about them, when you literally did reference a globally iconic painting that is in reference to Christianity, but then we're going to sit here and not mention the fact that the rest of the world doesn't subscribe to LBGT whatever, and we still sat there and threw up, drag queens at the Olympic Games. Like, make that make sense, right? Because it's like, if we're making this about us, meaning Christians, then aren't the Western powers also making it about them and their talking points? Because again, all this LBGT stuff is just it's strictly Western and first world countries, right? Because I've heard that there's still some LBGT resistance even amongst some European countries, but they would probably be more classified as second world. But fact of the matter is that the world does not really accept and tolerate all that LBGT stuff. That is strictly the United States and Western powers that subscribe to that like line of thinking and ideology. So even though they want to sit here and act like, oh, the backlash is only from American Christians or even just Christians in, certain parts of the world, it's like, no, there's a lot of other non-Christian nations that do not subscribe to that nonsense, right? And it's just like, but again, like they're making it about Christians, and it's like, no, most of the world is not pro-LBGT, right? And I'm not adding in all the other letters. I know there's a bunch, but I'm just going to file all of that just under LBGT. But most of the world is not pro-LBGT, whether or not people want to accept that or not. So it's like, yeah, you're going to get pushback from Christians because of the Last Supper stuff, but there's a whole bunch of LBGT references in there that Christians didn't say anything about, right? Truth be told. And it's like, very interesting that you're okay with the LBGT stuff up there, but then when the Christians clap back for, making fun of, Christian iconography or imagery, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, they're making it about them. It's like, no, you made it about the Christians. Like let's not forget who shot first. Christians didn't promote religious ideology in the Olympic opening ceremonies, and then this is a response to that saying, screw you and your religion. Like, no. Christians were just waiting for the Olympic Games to start, and then y'all went and did this. Like, let's keep it a buck here. But anyway, I just find that pretty obvious, or pretty ironic, because it really is not the United States. It really is Western ideology promoting its ideology, obviously idolatry, which there's that too, but not for this video. Ideology on to the rest of the world, but then people in these first world countries who are pro LBGT are trying to sit here and say the Christians are making it about them, and the Christians just need to stand down because it's not in reference to that, it's in reference to something else. It's like, oh, stop. It's like, how dumb do you think we are? No, you got caught. Right? Like you got caught. And pushing your ideology on the rest of the world and then gaslighting Christians about it. It's just like, I like, what do you even say to that outside of, go, what yourself? It's like how do you even compartmentalize that in your head, right? Like, that doesn't even make almost any sense. It's just like, okay. But, this is my problem with people nowadays, is that we have this level of thinking of, well, not thinking, but we just have this level of thinking where people it's like people are out here just doing things. It's like, people see you. You know that, right? People see you. Like, you're not just going to sit here and do something like make fun of a religion that, according to somebody, posting in a comment section, I don't know if this is actual numbers or not, but they said that there's 2 billion Christians on the planet. And it's like, okay, so you're going to make fun of a religion that 2 billion people out of 8 billion, I know it's roughly, give or take a couple million here or there, but let's just go, round it off, 8 billion people. That's a quarter of the people on the planet. Like, if there's 4 people in a room, that's one of them, right? It is like, if there's only 4 people in a room and you upset one of them, do you think that that's not going to affect the other 3 people? Like, just like, do you not get how, dynamics works? But whatever. So anyway, like, they're just, like, they really think that, like, Christians are that stupid. It's like, wow, that's very interesting, to say the least. Like, I almost don't even have words for how stupid that is. Like, they really thought that they were going to make fun of a major world religion. Like, there's only a handful of world. I think there's like 5. It was like Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Buddhist, and I think there's another one that I'm missing. I can't think of it. Not Confucianism, because that one's Hindu. That's right, Hindu. Like, those are the 5 major world religions, right? And then it, trickles off from there into all sorts of, ancient religions, and then, make Taoism, Confucianism, things that are old, but really don't have quite the impact of following as the others. Oh, excuse me. Man, it's not even nighttime. It's like right in the middle of the day. I don't know why I'm yawning. Probably because I didn't get a lot of sleep last night making the video from yesterday. So I actually want to check that out on Rumble. I think that's posted. Or at least it will be by the time I post this video. But anyway, yeah. So I just, like, that's really all I have to say on it, because, again, I want to keep this video YouTube friendly. But it's just like, if it wasn't really about that, then, oh yeah, I want to say this too before I go. If it's not really about that, then how come the IOC is pulling down videos from the Olympics or from the opening ceremonies during the Olympics, right? If it wasn't about that, then why are you hiding videos and copyright striking people who all are posting or have posted, screenshots, and they're trying to, upload the segment so that we can get a better understanding? It's like, you over here, what is it, like DCMY or whatever the digital crackdown is. It's like, you guys are doing that. And it's like, okay, but you just said it wasn't about that. So why are you pulling down videos, people saying that it's about that? Like, wouldn't you leave it up to make them look stupid? Like, isn't that what you would do? Like, you should leave the video up so that people look dumb when they sit here and say, like, oh, look, this video is about this. And it's just like, no, we're not going to copyright strike. Like, we're going to leave it up. Like, look, how are these two things related? Right? But again, like, look at this. Look at the image I put as my thumbnail, which, heck, they might get shadow banned for that reason alone. But look at the image I put up there. You're going to sit there and tell me that those images aren't alike, and especially when one's internationally world famous? And someone else brought this up in a comment section. Y'all had 2 years to plan this whole opening ceremonies, and as you guys came up with this, planned it, and rehearsed it, no one, and I mean no one, said, hey, this looks vaguely like the Last Supper. This could get clapped back from Christians. Like nobody said that. Not a single person. And let's just say someone did say it. Why wasn't it taken seriously? It's like, you really think that you're going to sit here and use this kind of imagery to support something that a major world religion everybody knows disagrees with? And then you're going to sit here and say that, oh, it's not about that. It's like, bro, come on. In what world? In what world does that happen? I guess they're trying to make it happen in this world, but, Anyway, they knew what they were doing. They got caught. They didn't think that the backlash, or actually, I'm not going to say that they didn't think the backlash was going to be this severe. I don't think that they cared, but I just think that the backlash was a little bit more than they expected it to be, on top of the fact that it's been called out that they, what is it? Like, it's, because, they always try to be like, oh, we're all inclusive. This comes out as not really being inclusive. It's like they're actually attacking a religion, right? And I think that's what it is, that they're saving face for. It's like, oh, well, we were trying to sneak this Christianity on purpose. We just didn't think that it would get this much traction. Like we thought that, the segment would be, long enough for those paying attention to get it, but then short enough to where you could miss it if you blinked, and it's just like, oh, sorry, we didn't know that everybody's eyes were open for that long, so therefore that's why we try to get away with it. But regardless, like I'm not that mad about it, just because like I think that we got other stuff going on in Christianity that we need to focus on. Not that this is something that we should let slide completely, but this isn't something that we need to kind of make as big of a deal about it as we have. But I mean, I get why people are mad, and I'm not gonna tell them that they shouldn't be mad. I'm just saying, I don't see this kind of pushback when it comes to all the demonic stuff that goes on inside of America when it comes to our award shows and Super Bowl halftime shows. But now, I will say the people who follow me on my, personal social media, oh yeah, they do this stuff all the time. So I know they specifically are probably, more personally justified in complaining about it than, some others who I see talking about this, of which I don't know. Sometimes you can only judge somebody so much and still be accurate if you don't really know them. If anything, there's some Christians who I see they're in support of this, and I'm just like, I don't want to say that your Christianity is up for debate, right? Because you just don't know where people's hearts are at, or where they're coming from, or why they're coming from certain aspects. I'll leave that up for God. But there's some people where I'm like, it'd probably just be better if you just didn't claim to be a Christian, right? It's just like. Like I get you live in America and you don't want that kind of smoke, and whether it be from your family or people who've grown up with you. But at the same time, it's like you're an adult. You can make your own decisions. If you don't subscribe to Christianity more because you want to go to the Pride Parade, or you want to I don't know, have sex out of marriage, or just go down the list of stuff that everyone knows that Christians aren't too privy of, or Christianity traditionally isn't too privy of. Just go down the list. But it's just like, if you don't want to subscribe to that stuff, you don't have to, just stop being a Christian. And you can still have some of these ideals and just still not be a Christian. I mean, look at atheists. They bash Christianity all the time, but then they're the first ones talking about, truth and justice. And it's like, how do you truth and justice without the idea of a God? But, they talk themselves into believing it. But anyway, not to get off into religion, but you know what I'm saying. But anyway, yeah, I don't understand why they're trying to sit here and say that it wasn't something that it clearly was about, right? Like stand on it, right? Like if you're about that life, if you don't like Christianity that much, stand on it. Just sit here and say, hey, listen, we are pro LBGT. We don't care about what Christians have to say or think. This is our opening ceremonies. We're going to sit here and glorify, Bacchus or whatever, Greek deity existed back in the ancient times, and we're going to sit here and use Christian imagery to do it with. It's like just stand on that, right? Don't sit here and beat around the bush and lie and then take down the video and copyright, strike people. And it's just like you look guilty, right? You look guilty. And at first, I didn't know if this was really genuine or not. As far as like, oh, we're trying to, we're referencing another painting, and it's just like, oh, okay. And I did find a painting that looked somewhat similar to that. I couldn't find it for the sake of this video, but there is one out there. I just don't know what it is, or I just wasn't able to find it completely. I found one that looked similar, but it's like, yeah, I think there's a better representation that I heard someone reference. But all that aside. Yeah, like this is an attack on Christianity. I'm sorry. Like I know I can't find the other video, but you can't sit here and be like, as someone, as a personal friend of mine. I don't say a personal friend of mine, but a guy who I know personally, as he put it, it's like let's not be intellectually dishonest here, right? Reminds me of a video I posted a long time ago, intellectual dishonesty. It's like we're still here. Well, that's funny that video got downvoted. I might have to go back and listen to that and kind of redo it, because I remember my mentality that I had when I was making it, And I thought, oh yeah, this is gonna be a good one. And then it got like downvoted. And it's just like, are you serious? Like intellectual dishonesty? But I guess, like they say, hit dogs holler. Because here we got people over here acting like that the Olympic opening ceremonies wasn't an attack on Christianity, when it's just like, okay, name another painting that looks like this. I'll wait, right? And then it's just like, oh, Christians are making it about them. It's just like, okay, Western ideology being forced upon everybody else who doesn't agree with it, right? Whoops, I almost dropped my phone. But yeah, it's just like stand on that business. Like it just, oh, like just be honest about your paganism. I guess that's the way I could say it. It's just like, I don't understand what the whole, oh no, it's not about that. It's like, yeah, it is. It's like, and stand on it. Like, don't sit there and try to gaslight Christians about what something is or isn't, when you know good and damn well that it is what it is. Like you don't care anyway, otherwise you wouldn't have done it. So yeah, I think that's all I got to say on that. So anyway, that's my video. John XY Rising.